Sorry, can you change your name? Good afternoon. Okay, so today let us start. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, so now am I audible clearly, and is the screen visible clearly? Can you just let me know in the chat box, or yes, I have launched the poll. Please let me know in the chat box whether I'm audible clearly and is the screen visible properly. Okay, I'm waiting for your answers, please. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, so sorry, some technical issues like network issues are there. If you cannot able to hear me in any point of a time, please drop a message in a chat box. I'll try to rectify that as soon as possible. Okay. So yes, I'm ending the poll. As you guys can hear me properly and you can able to see the screen clearly, right? So as I was discussing already earlier, today we are going to discuss a new chapter, which is locomotion and movement. Okay, now it's a time to use the chat box. You all use the chat box and let me know whether the locomotion and movement both are same or different. Yes, come on, use the chat box and let me know whether both are same or different. Come on, come on. Okay, so locomotion is different than the movement. I'll tell you. Now let us say if I can able to move my eyelids. If I am able to move my eyelids, which means that, oh, what is wrong? Huh? Which means that what my eyelids are moving. At the same time, I can able to move my forelimbs and the hind limbs. Like I can able to move my legs, so that what I'll be doing, I'll be changing my place, or I'll be changing my position. From where I'm sitting, from here to there, I'll move. Right. This is the locomotion, where we are going to change our place or the place where we are standing, and from there we are going to move the place, or we are going to change the place by the movement. This is a locomotion. Movement is the one where either the muscles can move or the eyelids can move, right? There are different types of muscles, and sorry, this pen is not working. Okay, no problem, no issues. So is that clear? Locomotion and the movement differences you all got? I hope you understood. Right. Movement, it is not necessary that the organism or anything which is going to change a place. It is not necessary to change the place or the where we are staying. Okay. There itself the movement can happen. But if we're talking about a locomotion, due to this movement, the organism is going to displace itself. Okay. That is called a locomotion. Now we will see some of the questions. Okay. So the first question which is here is the macrophages in the human body. Macrophages you all know, which will be helpful for the defense, right? In the human body exhibit what? Which movement we can able to see in the macrophages? A, ciliary movement. B, amoeboid movement. C, no movement. D, movement with a blood flow only. Now you give me the answer, which would be the correct one. Yes, I'm launching a poll. Just give me a second. Yes, poll is here. Answer, which is the correct one. Okay, give me the answers quickly. Fine. I'm ending the poll. And what is the answer? Macrophages. See, macrophages, yes, even though they are present in a human body, they do not move with the blood. Okay, most of the cells or most of the nutrients used to move with, or they used to go along with the blood flow, right? But macrophages, they will be showing the movement in such a way. Let me tell you, if this is a one, okay, again, it is not working. Fine. So if there is a one macrophage, and beside this macrophage, let us say here is a one small microorganism which is going to enter our body, or which entered our body already. Now what this macrophage will do, it is going to take, by the movement itself, it will be engulfing it completely. This movement we are gonna call as a amoeboid movement. Is that clear? What do we call this movement? Amoeboid movement. And yes, our macrophages which are present in our body, they will be showing the amoeboid movement. Okay. Next question. Cardiac muscles are different from that of a skeletal muscles as the former are. So how do the cardiac muscles are different from a skeletal muscle? See, the question you observe carefully. Here, most of us will be confused. The thing is like, cardiac muscle are different from the skeletal muscle. How do we say that? We have to write the characteristic of a cardiac muscle, not the skeletal muscle. So if you know the characteristic of a cardiac muscle, then you can give the answer, right? So what is that? Striated muscles, sorry, striated but involuntary, non-striated and involuntary, smooth or unstriated, voluntary in action. Okay, I'll be launching a poll again. I hope this time I'll get the answers in the poll. Answer quickly in the poll. Okay. I'm ending the poll. Let us see the answer. So as I said already, they are asking about the cardiac muscles. So if we know the characteristics of the cardiac muscles, then we can easily differentiate between the skeletal muscle. First of all, what are these cardiac muscle and the skeletal muscles? That we should know, right? Yes. So cardiac muscles, cardiac means always refers to what? Use the chat box. Cardiac refers to what? Heart. Yes. So cardiac refers to heart. So cardiac muscles, which means the muscles which will be helpful for the formation of a heart and heart movement, everything with the muscles which will be helpful, those are called a cardiac muscle. Skeletal muscles, especially the muscles which are present on the skeleton, and they will be helpful for the movement. Okay. So now they are asking the difference, how the cardiac muscles are different from the skeletal muscle. You should write about the cardiac muscles, which are striated but involuntary. Okay, which means we cannot do anything voluntarily to those muscles. If the muscles want to move, the heart will move. If the muscles don't want to move, heart will not beat. Okay, so that is why cardiac muscles are, oh, sorry. That is why cardiac muscles are striated. The structure is striated and involuntary. Is it clear? Yes, let me answer for this also. This is a amoeboid movement. So now let us start the chapter, which is locomotion and the movement. Before starting this chapter, I would like to know, only the animals will move or the plants will also move? This is a question, by the way. Okay. Do the plants show the movement? Or only animals will show the movement? Can I know in the chat box, please? Yes. Okay. So not only the animals, we know animals will move, animals will walk, locomotion, everything will be present in the animals. But how about the plants? Yes. Plants also do show the movement. Okay. So movement in the sense, okay, ma'am, whether the plants will move from one place to another place. No, plants will not move. Plants will not show the locomotion, but they do show the movement. What kind of movement? Externally, if we are talking, whenever the wind is blowing from one side, obviously the leaves will move, right? Leaves will move and some tree branches will move. That is external thing. If we go deep inside the plant, there the cytoplasmic movement also we can able to see. Yes or no? Inside the plant, cytoplasmic movements we can able to observe. So movement is not restricted to only the animals. All the organisms do show the movement. If I say, sorry, just a minute. Yes. If there is a one cell, plant cell, and there is a one more plant cell just beside this. Now what happens? There is a interconnection between the two plants, which is called as what? Plasmodesmatal connection. So obviously the cytoplasm which is present in a one cell, let's say the cytoplasm which is present in the cell A will be moving to the cytoplasm which is present in cell B. Now can I call it as a movement or not? Can I call it as a movement? Yes. So this is why we are going to say movement is not restricted only to the animals. Movement can be seen in all the organisms. Okay. So as I said already, streaming of protoplasm in the unicellular organisms also. If there is only one unicellular organism is there what is going to happen? The protoplasm will be, protoplasm means what? The matrix which is present inside the cell, that will be moving inside it. So this is also considered as a movement. Okay, let us talk about some amoeba, paramecium, euglena. All these are the microorganisms, right? Do they show the movement? Yes, of course they do show the locomotion also sometimes, because I'll tell you, they are having some locomotory structures like a cilia, flagella, Okay. And the tentacles. So what they will be doing is like how our legs are helping us to move. The same way the cilia, flagella, tentacles will also help them for the movement. So which means here we can say movement can be seen in all the organisms, from unicellular organisms to the plants and the animals. Everywhere we can able to see the locomotion. Is that clear? I hope this is clear to every one of you. Now, how about the humans? How the humans are going to show the movement? They can move, as we all know, we can move our legs and the hands. Can we able to move the hands or not? How about legs? Can we able to move our legs? Yes. These are the limbs, forelimbs and the hind limbs. Okay. They will be helpful for the movement or the locomotion also. And one more thing is we can move the jaws. Can we able to move the jaws, upper jaw and lower jaw? We can able to move especially lower jaw, right? And the eyelids also will be moved. We can close the eyes, open the eyes by what? By the movement of eyelids, tongue, and many more. There are many organs or there are many movements can be observed in the human body apart from the limbs. Limbs are the major one which will helpful for the locomotion. Apart from that, there are many other areas where the movement can be observed. Okay. As I said already, some of the movements which are result in the change of the place or the location. Now I am staying here, from here to I want to go there out of this room. So how do I go? By moving my limbs, legs. By moving the legs, I am going to change the place. This is called as a locomotion. And the question whether the locomotion is a voluntary or involuntary. Locomotion is going to happen by our consciousness, right? If I want to walk, then only I will walk. Otherwise, I will not walk. So locomotion is a change of a place by the movement, which is a voluntary. By my concern or by my knowledge only, I am going to move. Okay. So this locomotion can have a walking, running, climbing, flying, swimming. All these forms of locomotion can be observed in the humans specially. Okay. Now, this all done. What is the difference between a locomotion and movement? We already saw, right? Movement means just a moving of the organ, right? But locomotion means what? Due to this movement, the organism is going to change its place. That is called as a locomotion. Okay, so now we are going to talk about types of a movement. Types of a movement, which means the cells of a human body exhibit three main types of a human movements, or three main types of a movements. What are those movements? Now we are talking about inside the human body. Externally, right? We are having a locomotion, which means we can move from one place to another place. But internally, our body can show some of the other movements. Altogether, we have three types of movements. What are those three types? Amoeboid movement, as I asked the question in the beginning itself, macrophages and the leukocytes, which will be helpful for our immune system, or which will be fighting against the microorganisms. They will show the amoeboid movement. Amoeboid movement means what? Yes, here you can see they are going to extend. The first image you can able to see, they are going to extend their body structure, where they'll be capturing the microorganism back. So by changing the shape, by extending their body structure, they will be capturing the microorganism, or they'll be capturing the food. This is what called as a amoeboid movement, where we can able to see this amoeboid movement, macrophages and leukocytes. Next is a ciliary. Ciliary means what? In the second image, I want you to see the second image. Let me just take a laser point and I'll show. Okay, this here you can see. Yes. Okay, so here the small hair-like structures which are present on the cells, this columnar cells where you can see, right? On that the hair-like structures are present. What they are doing? They are allowing this larger structure to pass on it, which means the cilia is going to allow the any other things to move. This is called as a ciliary movement in our body. Okay. Especially most of our internal organs, like a tubular organs, wherever we say the tube, like a fallopian tube. Okay. So tube, wherever we can able to see the tubular organs, there, all those tubular organs will be ciliated by the epithelium, or the epithelial cells are having a cilia on it. Okay, so two movements are done, amoeboid movement and a ciliary movement. The third one is a muscular movement, where we are going to use our muscles to move, especially the limbs and the jaws, especially limbs I can say, on the legs and, the hands, where we can able to see the movement of the limbs, or where we can able to see the muscles which will be helpful for the movement of our limbs, right? So totally how many movements are there? How many types of movements? Amoeba, cilia and muscular. Please repeat after me. There are three types of the movements in the human body. Amoeboid movement, ciliary movement, muscular movement. Is it clear to everybody? Please give some reactions if it is clear. Yes. Okay. So other than this, in the human body, where we can able to see the cilia and flagella, other things, the one is hydra. Okay. So what the hydra will do is, here you can see this is the hydra. Okay. Second image is a hydra. The hydra, can you able to see the hydra over there? It is going to have some things on the head, and with that it is moving by holding. Yes, again it is moving like a Spider-Man, right? So which means the hydra will be using the tentacles for the locomotion. But the paramecium, where you can see here, the paramecium, which is going to have the cilia on that body, with the help of cilia, the paramecium will move on. Okay, is it clear? Now let us talk about muscles. Muscles are a specialized tissue which are the mesodermal origin. Mesodermal origin means what? We know, like humans are the triploblastic organisms. Triploblastic organisms means whenever the embryo is forming, at that time 3 layers will be formed. First, beginning. What are those 3 layers? Endoderm, mesoderm, ectoderm. Right. By these 3 layers only, the organisms are gonna develop further. I mean, all the body organs will be developed. Same way, the muscles will be developed by the mesoderm. Okay. And about 40 to 50% of our body weight is by muscles only. Okay. So, and why these muscles are so special, and how do they helpful for the human for the locomotion? Because they have some special properties like excitability, contractility, okay, extensibility, and etc. Okay, and elasticity, and so on. These all we will study when we are talking in detail about a skeletal muscle. But there are some types of muscles in the humans. Okay, what are those types of muscles? How many types are there? There are totally 3 types of muscles. One is the skeletal muscle. Just a minute. One is a skeletal muscle. One more is cardiac muscle. And third one is a visceral muscle. Let me tell you. Skeletal muscle, where the muscle will be present on the skeleton. Those are called as the skeletal muscles. Is that clear? On the skeleton, where the muscles are present, those muscles are called as a skeletal muscles. Next, the muscles which will be helpful for the formation of a heart. Complete heart is going to form by the special type of muscles. Those are called as a cardiac muscles. And the last one is a visceral muscle. Visceral muscles, visceral, right? Visceral organs, you know, kidney and stomach, all these are the pancreas, right? All these are the visceral organs. These organs are also made up of muscles, and those muscles are called as visceral muscles. Is it clear? There are three types of muscles: skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, visceral muscle. Skeletal muscle, which is present on the skeleton, cardiac muscles in the heart, visceral muscle on the visceral organs. Is it clear? Can we move to the next? Yes. Now, let us talk about a skeletal muscle. Can you able to see the skeletal muscle in the diagram? Yes. So you can able to see the bands over it, right? So, I mean, I'll tell you why these bands are going to form and how they will be forming. I